Welcome, old man winter. We're here at Avon Kurtz Brothers to discuss on how to stack firewood, the types of firewood available, and just the easy solutions to meet all your winter needs. The firewood we're looking at today is at our production site in Avon. We happen to have a loader on site, so it makes it a little easier. No wheelbarrows. Pretty much delivered right to the area where we're going to stack it. So what we like to do with our firewood is put 2x4s, 4x4s down on the ground. It keeps the wood off the ground, allows air to move from underneath, pretty much eliminates any issues with snow, ice, so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is move this wood from the bucket over to an area we've designated over here, and we've got some 4x4 setting on the ground. We'll crisscross the ends, which is a preferred method for homeowners. There's other ways to go, but it's an easy way for you to stack wood so that it's not falling. You're not building a giant pyramid. It pretty much gives you a 4x8 stack, which is a third of a cord of wood, and that's what we're going to show you today. Once again, the wood that we offer at Kurtz Brothers, all hardwoods, ash, oak, maple, hickory, and sometimes cherry even. We try to keep the cherry separate in case people want to smoke with it, because we do offer wood for smoking ovens if you choose to do so. So let's get started. Okay, so we're getting ready to stack the wood at Kurtz Brothers in Avon. I wanted to go over a couple things with you. Ideally, you want your wood to be 16 to 18 inches in length. It's a standard size that fits most fireplaces and wood burners as well. The other thing to keep in mind is I like to do the drop test, and here we go. If you hear that sound, that means good hardwood. What happens a lot of times in the northern states, you'll get some softwoods like poplar, pine, red pine, and it's ideally not the ideal situation for your burning needs. You can burn it, but there's a chance that creosote will build up in your chimney, and it becomes a fire hazard at some point in time. But once again, this is all hardwood that we offer: ash, maple, oak, and hickory, and we're going to get the stacking process going here. So this is the way that we like to cross on the corners, and I like to keep it, go for the flat pieces of wood. We'll start there like that, and pretty much we're going to crisscross back and forth, just like this. And I've got my friend Domingo here, who works at Kurtz Brothers in Avon, handing me some more wood. And as you can see, it's stable. It's almost like bookends, pretty much, is what happens. And the idea behind this is so that if you have limited space, your wood is going to be confined to that a 4x8 area, which would be a third of a cord of firewood, and that's essentially what we're doing here today, is stacking a third of a cord of firewood. We're going to cross. Every once in a while you can put a third piece in there to shore it up. As you can see, we're establishing our corners. Pretty much this will shore up the 4x8 to 1/3 of a cord, and then what we're going to do in between the corners is literally stack the wood, paying attention to, you don't have to have it corner to corner. You want to leave some air space in between. As you can see, we have allowed for air to move through. I have a tendency to put the bark down, and I do that for a reason, because it allows for air space. When wood is split, typically you're looking at 6 pieces of wood per log. If you put the split end down, what it does, you're actually putting the log back together, and then it's pointless because it's not drying. So this is why we tend to flip it like that and make sure we do have that airspace in there. It forces the moisture out of the wood, and henceforth puts us in a situation where our wood is getting seasoned as the months roll on. Okay, so I just want to give you a little recap. As you can see, we've got the 1/3 of a cord of firewood stacked. We've got the crisscross corners. We have our hardwood stacked with bark down. Wanted to give you a few other tips to help you with the drying process. Ideally, it's great if you could put your firewood underneath an overhang. and cover it. If that's not the case, what we've done here is, once again, we found a flat level area, we put a 4x4 wood post down on the ground, stacked the wood on top, and crisscrossed the corners and stacked it with the bark down once again. And the final process of what's going to happen here is we're going to put a tarp on it, but however, we're going to allow air to move through, and I'll show you that process, and we're going to be done here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, at Kurtz Bros we offer these 8x10 poly tarps. I'm going to use this for covering our firewood. What I want to do is cover down to right around here, about a foot from the bottom. Same process on the back side. Want to take it to the edge of the crisscross, but do not want to cover the crisscross. That'll allow air to move through back and forth on a rotation, and it'll actually aid in the drying of the firewood. So as you can see, this 8x10 tarp, what we'll do is we'll go like this, and sometimes I like to double fold it right to the edge. I'll take a piece of that wood right there to lock that in there, hop over to the other side, same process. We'll take a piece of wood here, lock this side in, and once again, those crisscrosses are going to be exposed. It allows air to move through, and then ideally is to have everything pretty equal here. So that's about the height on the bottom there, and we'll move this down just a little. And then what we really would want to do is to take some clothesline rope, if you have it, or anything, twine's sufficient. Take the corner loop back here, tie that like that all the way around, secure the tarp with that twine all the way around the perimeter, and you're good to go. Happy burning. For winter weather tips and tricks and DIYs, subscribe to our channel.